Good morning. Let me start from the end, okay? I have some good news for you. Soon, nobody will have a job. Okay? And my mission today is to show you that this should be great news. Not to convince you that this is happening, because you already know that we are going towards this wordless, jobless world, but we should make it a good one. This is our responsibility to make it a great place for our children. So let's begin. I'm going to tell you that actually what we are doing today, or doing in the next, let's say, 20 years, we are building the last machine. I will be a bit more specific in the future. Today, we define ourselves as what we do. I mean, I'm an engineer, I'm a teacher, I'm a soldier, I'm an attorney, I'm whatever. We should start defining ourselves in a different way, because as I said, we will have no jobs. Unemployment is becoming chronic. Unemployment is becoming a real issue in the most developed places. I don't think that unemployment will disappear. I don't think that the crisis in Europe that we are seeing right now, 50% of the youngsters in France, in Spain, in Greece are unemployed. This is not just an issue. This is not just a problem that we have to overcome. This is the future. Unemployment is becoming chronic, longer, and what is surprising is the more developed the country is, you'll see more and more unemployment. The question I ask myself is unemployment bad? And what I'd like to somehow claim today, that it's not. It's the future, and we'll discuss it. It's about time that we separate work, meaning, and making a living. It's not a long time that we combine them all into one thing. It's about a few hundred years. What we do, how we make a living, the meaning of our life. But I think that we have reached a stage in which we can separate it again. And making a living will be an issue by itself. But what you do is a different thing. And if you work or you don't work is a different thing. I'm going to focus on the next 20 years. I'm not going to take my thoughts too long away, or I'm not going to discuss today, but I'm going to discuss the next generation, your kids, your children. Today, you take a kid, you take a child at the age of 6, and you put them in school for the first time. You put them in school that should prepare them in 20 years, when they are 26, after the system, it should prepare them to this future world, and it doesn't. We put our kids today in schools that have no idea what the future will look like, and the whole idea is that we prepare them for work. This is the main purpose of school right now, unfortunately. It's not about knowledge, it's about I'm going to prepare you to the future job world, which is going to change completely. Let me start with 4 stories. I will connect the dots a bit later on, but I would like to start with 4 technology-related stories. Story number 1 is AI. AI is becoming serious. Have you met the new Barbie? Who has a Barbie doll at home right now? Please raise your hand if you have a Barbie doll at home. Don't be shy, don't be shy. It's okay if, fine, okay. Now, if you haven't met the new Barbie, let me break the news to you. Barbie is about to become extremely intelligent. Barbie is getting a brain. The new Barbie is going to have an implant of a brain, a microphone, a speaker, and Barbie will be able to chat with you intelligently. Barbie will be able to listen, understand, and chat. Imagine kids in 5 years when they have a Barbie doll, and some of these Barbie dolls will be more intelligent than their parents. Think about it. It's a new world. It's a new thing. It's not what we have. I mean, it will be in stages. let's say, stage number 1, the Barbie dolls will be more intelligent than the fathers, okay? And then another 5 years or 10 years, and the Barbie dolls are even more intelligent than the mothers. And they check what is the life experience of a child when he talks to his Barbie and he can hold a conversation that he cannot hold with his parents. Not every Barbie, every speaker, every stage, every chair, every car, every office is going to be intelligent. We are going to make the universe around us extremely intelligent, and every Barbie doll will have a brain. So this is AI. Let's go to the second story. The second story is about our brain. Professor Natan Intrato, a friend of mine, is now connecting our brains to the cloud. Stage 1, he's connecting an electrode to your brain over here, non-invasive, and he reads your mind. He reads waves. And stage 2, then he analyzes the waves. Are you calm? Are you disturbed? Are you focused? Are you whatever? He can withdraw a lot of information from your brain. Are you about to get your epilepsy attack in a few minutes? Let's prepare for that. Are you okay? Are you not okay? But he's not just reading your mind, he's connecting you to the cloud. So get ready to a universe in which our brains are all connected to the brain, to the cloud. Now, Larry Page has said, eventually you will have an implant where if you think about a fact, it will just tell you the answer. Wow. Story number 3. This cockroach here is a very unique cockroach. I found it at the Ido Batzelet laboratory at Bar Ilan. And poor cockroach, they injected a virus to that cockroach. And immediately after they injected a virus to that cockroach, what they did, they injected a small computer to solve it. And I'm talking about nanobots, small robotic nanobots, computers that I can build and inject. I can give you a teaspoon with water with 3 million small computers in that teaspoon. You will swallow these 3 million computers and you will be connected to the internet from the inside. Okay? Computers will be actually doing, now if it's too hard for you to think about I am swallowing computers, you know what? Think about a medicine, because the whole new generation of medicine today is programmable. It's actually the new generation of cancer medicines and whatever. So get ready to a nanotechnology future in which we build things from the nano level, and we don't just build things. We build small computers, for example, that actually connect and work inside our body. Now, the fourth story, if you haven't heard the word CRISPR until my presentation today, something is wrong with you. Okay? CRISPR, I can guarantee to you, is going to be the next keyword you are going to hear for the next 10 years, eventually more than the internet. CRISPR is the next, if you ask me, the next revolution that humanity is going to go by, and what it represents, if you ask me, is larger than the internet. Now, what is CRISPR? CRISPR is a low-cost, simple technology that will allow every kid to edit, maintain, change, program our DNA, our genes. You know, science fiction, all the stories, all the promises we had about one day we will be able to get a blue-eyed baby or an intelligent baby or whatever, and one day we'll be able to fix our genes. It's not science fiction anymore. It's happening right now. It's a technology which is being patented these days, a lot of, anyway. And it's a technology that eventually will allow us to edit our genes and to change ourselves in a very significant way. They started now embryo tests in Britain. They are doing it for a long time in China. So CRISPR, watch this keyword. This is going to change our lives. By the way, it is estimated that about 60% of our diseases have some kind of a genetic cause in the chain. So eventually, what we may be able to do here is to solve maybe 60% of our diseases, including some types of cancer, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the question I ask myself is AI, nanobots, CRISPR, brain connectivity. What's the end result? Where are we going to? If you take all these platforms, the electronic platform, the biology platform, and the nanotech platform, what is next? What is the end game? Where are we going to? And this is what I would like to answer right now. And not just to answer where are we going to, but the implications, especially the social implications of that change. So soon, we'll reach Mars. We will not need to drive. We will be drinking digital juices. We will be living for hundreds of years. And remember, almost nobody will have a job. This is the great news, okay? This is the good news. And again, what's the end result? Where are we going to? My prediction, the main prediction I'd like to give you today is that within the next 20 years, what we are going to do, we are going to complete the build-up of the last machine. And what is this last machine? This last machine is a very sophisticated system, ecosystem, that connects the sun to the customer. I call it the sun to customer S2C machine, the last machine. And it's not new. We are building it now for a long time, but finally we are filling the gaps, and we are building it better and better and better. Eventually we'll have one big ecosystem that connects our energy source to our needs, and this is more or less what I see inside. Materials, robotics, artificial intelligence, communications, virtual reality, energy, synthetic biology, distribution, economy. Most importantly, we'll have to discuss it, values, human rights, and privacy, so the soft issues. But eventually, it will convert the energy to what we need. And obviously, there's not a lot of need for man muscle or man brain in that machine inside. This is going to be a very independent machine. Let me show you a simple example of how this machine works, okay? So you have the sun here. This is a solar panel. It activates a robot. The robot is doing everything it did with the wheat. Growing wheat, making flour, transportation, making the bread, serving the bread. We don't need people in the middle. But take it as an analogy. We don't need people in the middle, whatever we are doing here, from the sun to the customer. Now, if it looks very weird to you and crazy and impossible, I'd like to remind you that we are not the first one to invent that machine. That machine is already working very well in our nature, okay? And if you look at photosynthesis, this is a great machine. This is a sun to customer machine, okay? You convert sun energy to whatever that living organism needs. And we are building now our own machine. Let's look at a few examples. And the first example I'd like to share with you, you all experience. This is the taxi driver. Do you believe that we are going to use taxi drivers in 10 years? Absolutely not. I mean, you have to be really crazy to assume that in 10 or 15 years, we will still need taxi drivers. We already built the machine quite well. We have invented communications and mobile apps and AI and billing and GPS and cars. The only thing that was left in the middle is the taxi driver. Now, think about that taxi driver. Actually, it's a very simple robot. He doesn't choose customer, he doesn't bill, he doesn't navigate. It's a robot sitting in a car, getting instructions from a computer. Right, left, stop. Pick up, right, left, stop. And we are going to replace that last carbon-based robot. Now, I'm not the only one saying it. Travis Kalanick, the CEO of Uber, read the statement. It's an amazing statement. Google doing the driverless thing. Tesla is doing the driverless thing. Apple is doing the question for a tech company is, do you want to be part of the future or do you want to resist the future? In many ways, we don't want to be part of the old industry. So absolutely, he's working now. This is his main, I would say, strategy right now to replace the drivers with robots, with computers. So it's very clear for us that we don't need taxi drivers in 10 or 15 years. But this is the most important thing. It's not just taxi drivers. Let's go on. Do we need pilots? A little bit. Are you a pilot? Are you from the union of the Israeli Pilot Association, whatever? Look, I'm not the only one asking the question, do you need pilot? This is amazing. This is the airline industry. Are pilots the new threat to aviation safety? I'd like to make a claim here that if we were a bit more rational, we were already now in the middle of replacing pilots with robots. And if you don't trust the first robot, put another robot to look at the first robot. But carbon-based machines will not add safety, if you ask me, to this system. So meet your next driver, your next pilot, and I think that we are definitely going in this direction. We will not need pilots. Do we need medical doctors? Wow, this is a tough one, huh? This is really tough. Because if I asked you, you would all say, of course we need medical doctors. Nobody will replace. Guys, I have news for you. We will not need medical doctors. When it comes to diagnostics, we will have applications like Watson. Already today, if you have a lung cancer, probably Watson will give you a better diagnostics than a carbon-based doctor. And we are replacing more and more. Doctors don't really know what happens in your body. Doctors don't really read all the recent articles. Do we have a doctor in the audience? I apologize. But we are going to replace our doctors. Not just the one who do diagnostics, but let's look at this one. This is a research robot. This is a scientist. This is a robot that actually, it raises predictions about hypotheses and whatever, and he plans experiments, and he executes the experiments, and he finds solution. That robot has recently found a solution, a medicine, a cure, whatever, for malaria, for some types of malaria. So meet Eve, the next version is called Adam, or vice versa, and they plan experiments, and they find new medicine, they find new drugs. Let's look at the following one. Let's see if it works. I just want you to try and imagine what do you see here. This is a hard-to-watch movie, I warn you. For some, it's too harsh. Yes, you got it. It's a grape. Now, the hands are being operated by a human surgeon. How many years do you think the human hands will still be there? And how much time it will take us to add another hand, and to get rid of the human? We will not need the human eventually. And by the way, the surgeon is in Singapore, and the patient, the grape, is in New York. So I know what you are thinking right now. Yanki is talking about pilots and doctors and taxi drivers. What about creativity? Okay, what about creativity? I want to play a piece of music for you. You'll have to search for yourself, but that piece of music was conducted by, of course, a computer. Okay? Now, you say, okay, computer can conduct music. What about creativity? It's a great band, I recommend. But if you don't like this kind of music, let's go metal, okay? Watch the drummer. Watch the drummer. What's unique about the drummer? He has 4 hands. This is a drummer with 5 hands. Is it a good thing? Are we building the right machine? Is it a good thing? Well, if you ask me, I think it can be a great machine, but we have some responsibility on the way. That machine is not just about technology and science and innovation. That machine is also about values. We actually implement our values into that machine. One of the major questions that we should ask ourselves, the economy is changing. We are moving from the old economy, from the economy of scarcity to the economy of abundance. And the major question that you should ask yourself in an abundance economy is what? Who will enjoy it? How do you distribute the outcome of that machine? And guys, I'll refer to that in a second, but there are some negatives here that we should overcome, and one of them is that we are not going to need humans to do so many things. This is especially true here. Okay, we'll code HTML for food. There are some hard questions about this new machine. Who owns the grid? How do you make money? Do you need to make money? Who gets what? What about innovation, creativity, human values, challenges? Will everybody enjoy this wonderful human creation? What about security, terror, cyber, privacy? What does it mean to be human? And what are the values of this new machine? We are creating a new economy. We are moving from a work economy to an asset economy. An asset can be oil, an asset can be technology, an asset can be knowledge, an asset can be innovation. But do you still believe that you can get rich from work? Can you? You never could. You never could. You never could. 1% could. You never could get really rich. But you need to bring your own innovation, but this is now becoming a real issue. No more, less work economy, much more. In this old economy, the economy of scarcity, we ask ourselves three questions. What do we produce? How do we produce? And for whom do you produce it? In this new abundant economy, the question is mainly this system. How will we distribute its outcome? This whole issue of social justice, this whole issue of social unrest that we are seeing for the last decade is not just an incident. You will see more unemployment, you will see more abundance, more unemployment, more abundance. And the question is, how do you distribute what we have? Now, there are a few solutions to that distribution question. One amazing solution which is being implemented right now, you'll see that it's a trend, has started in Finland, I would suggest, maybe in Finland. And Finland has decided now on what they call basic income. Basic income, no matter what you do, no matter if you work, no matter who you are, you get from the government 800 euros every month. You don't need to work, like the Haredim in Israel, okay? If you choose not to work, it's okay, we'll support you. Now, Switzerland is the second country with a 2,200 euro basic income every month right now. So on the one hand, governments are now preparing the infrastructure with basic income to make sure that you don't need to work. On the second level, you see the mega philanthropists, the rich people, the billionaires of the world also understand something. And they have started their own system to actually convert their wealth for the public. I don't think it's a coincidence that Mark Zuckerberg has made this announcement that he's going to distribute 99% of his wealth once he is already alive, which is amazing. And there is a third system for redistribution of wealth, which is the Hever system, I call it, okay? And those who know it understand what I'm saying here, okay? This is another system that actually says, there is abundance, give me more. A warning. The basic issue that we're going to face, if you ask me, is that we're going to see more and more abundance, but at the same time, more and more gaps. If you look at the Gini index for the last 200 years, as a matter of fact, gaps are going larger and larger. And this is the index of inequality. But I want you to watch the next graph, which is not the inequality in income, but the inequality in assets. 32 million adults, 0.7% of the world adult population, hold 41% of the world assets. 3.2 billion people, almost 70% of world adults, hold 3% of the assets in the world. and this is becoming more and more severe every year. And actually, this one, I think, is the one that we should pay attention much more than inequality in work income, because this is the direction that we are going in. So I think that we have a responsibility here. We talk a lot about the future today. We talk about the future and the great things, and I'm an optimist. But we also have a lot of responsibility here, because we are now actually finishing this machine, and we should be very careful about its values. Before I finish, I'd like to actually give you quickly 4 possible other futures that we may go to and we should watch out for: virtual reality, transcendence, speciation, and extinction. Okay? The only one I want to explain here is speciation. You all understand that we can start, living on drugs and be on a or transcend or whatever. You all understand extinction. It's easy to understand extinction. But there is another future here which I'd like to put 20 seconds on: speciation. Biology has taught us that species do not convert. Species speciate. Not everybody turned and became a human being from a monkey. Not all snails, whatever, became monkeys. Not all fish became. But what happened is a small group has speciated outside, and the future that I might see here, is the future of mankind will not continue as one species, but will have Homo sapiens 2.0, will have the rest of us returning as normal humans. And do you have an idea what will be the borderline between those who become Homo sapiens 2.0 and those who remain just humans? I did my job. Okay. It might be money. It might be resources. It might be those assets I'm talking about all the time. So any future you choose here, the question of social justice, how do you distribute abundance, is a key question to our future. Now, my last question: will the last machine have a switch? Let me show you the switch of the last machine. Thank you very much.